A reckless millionaire's car breaks down on the highway. Maya, a black mechanic, stops to help despite her anger. As she fixes his car, he spots her diamond ring and turns pale. "That belonged to my murdered mother," he whispers. "It was stolen the night she died." Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. Maya Johnson slammed her fist against the steering wheel of her truck as a sleek silver Maserati cut in front of her, forcing her to brake hard. The luxury car swerved recklessly across 2 lanes before skidding onto the shoulder of the highway, smoke billowing from under its hood. "Idiot rich people," she muttered, pulling over despite her anger. As a mechanic who owned a small garage in the outskirts of Chicago, she couldn't ignore a smoking engine, even if the driver deserved to be stranded for his dangerous driving. Rain had just started to fall as Maya approached the vehicle. The driver, a tall man in an expensive suit, kicked the front tire in frustration while shouting into his phone. "I don't care what meeting you're in. Get someone here now." He ended the call and noticed Maya. His expression shifted from anger to relief, then quickly to skepticism as he assessed her work overalls and grease-stained hands. "Car trouble?" Maya asked coldly, already knowing the answer. "Obviously," he replied, matching her tone. "My so-called luxury vehicle decided to die right when I'm late for the most important meeting of my career. Maybe if you hadn't been driving like you owned the road." "Were you the truck I passed?" "Look, I'm sorry, but I'm literally about to lose millions if I don't get downtown in the next 40 minutes. Maya crossed her arms. "Calling for help? Roadside assistance can't get here for 2 hours. My assistant is sending a car, but they're stuck in traffic." Desperation crept into his voice. "Do you know anything about cars?" Maya laughed bitterly. "I own Johnson's auto shop. I probably know more about your fancy car than you do." Without waiting for permission, she moved toward the smoking hood. "Pop it open." The man complied, stepping back as Maya expertly examined the engine. "Your cooling system has a leak and you've overheated the engine. Driving like a maniac didn't help." She glanced up. "I can get it running enough to get you to a proper garage, but you'll need major repairs. Can you fix it right now? I'll pay whatever it costs." "This is a band-aid fix at best," Maya warned, already reaching for the tools she kept in her truck. As she worked, the rain intensified, soaking through her coveralls. "I'm Ethan Blackwood, by the way," the man offered, holding his jacket over her as makeshift shelter. "Maya Johnson." She continued working silently, her hands moving with practiced precision despite the rain. After 15 minutes, Maya straightened up. "Try it now." Ethan slid into the driver's seat and turned the key. The engine sputtered, then roared to life. "You're a miracle worker," he exclaimed, checking his watch. "I might actually make it." "Don't drive over 60 or it'll overheat again," Maya instructed, wiping her hands on a rag. "And get it to a garage immediately after your meeting." "Let me pay you," Ethan insisted, reaching for his wallet. "Just drive more carefully," Maya replied, turning back toward her truck. As she raised her hand to brush wet hair from her face, her sleeve pulled back, revealing an ornate diamond ring that gleamed even in the gloomy weather. Ethan froze, his eyes fixed on the jewelry. "That ring?" he whispered, voice suddenly hoarse. "Where did you get it?" Maya instinctively covered the ring with her other hand. "It's none of your business." "Please?" Ethan stepped closer. "That ring belonged to my mother. It was stolen 10 years ago when our home was invaded. The thief killed her while taking it." Maya's expression hardened. "Are you accusing me of something?" "No. I'd recognize that setting anywhere. 3 rubies surrounded by diamonds in a platinum setting. My father had it custom made for their 20th anniversary. This was my grandmother's ring," Maya said defensively. "She left it to me when she died last year." "How long did she have it?" "I don't know, a few years? She said a wealthy client gave it to her as payment." As soon as the words left her mouth, Maya regretted them. Ethan's face paled. "When exactly did she get it?" "I need to go," Maya said abruptly, turning away. "Please," Ethan caught her arm gently. "My mother's murderer was never caught. That ring is the only lead I've had in a decade." The desperation in his voice made Maya pause. She'd lost her parents young and been raised by her grandmother, a hard-working housekeeper who'd sacrificed everything to give Maya a better life. The woman she'd known could never have accepted stolen property, especially not something connected to a murder. "My grandmother was a housekeeper for wealthy families in Highland Park," Maya said carefully. "She would never have knowingly taken something stolen." "Highland Park." Ethan's expression changed. "We lived in Highland Park when it happened. Thunder rumbled overhead as they stared at each other, connecting impossible dots. "Get in my truck," Maya said finally. "Your car will make it downtown, but we need to talk. My meeting is less important than finding out if your mother's killer has been serving me Sunday dinners my whole life," Maya snapped. 20 minutes later they sat in a quiet diner, the ring placed between them on the table. "My grandmother, Eloise Johnson, worked for wealthy families her entire life," Maya explained. "She raised me after my parents died in a car accident when I was 4. Everything I know about cars I learned from her. She could fix anything." "The ring appeared around 10 years ago?" Maya nodded reluctantly. "She said a client gave it to her when they moved overseas. I never questioned it. She only wore it on special occasions, said it was too flashy for every day." Ethan pulled out his phone and showed her a photograph. "This is my mother wearing it at her last charity event." Maya's stomach dropped. The ring was unmistakably identical. "When I was 17, Ethan continued, someone broke into our house while my father was on a business trip. They shot my mother when she confronted them. The only things taken were her jewelry and this ring specifically. Police believe the intruder knew exactly what they were looking for." "And you think my grandmother was involved?" Maya asked incredulously. "I don't know what to think," Ethan admitted. "But she worked in Highland Park and somehow ended up with my mother's ring around the same time." "There has to be an explanation," Maya insisted. "My grandmother was the most honest person I've ever known." "Who did she work for in Highland Park?" "Several families over the years. The Wilsons, the Goldmans, the Crawfords." "The Crawfords?" Ethan interrupted. "Gerald and Patricia Crawford?" Maya nodded slowly. "Yes, for about 5 years. They were her last employers before she retired." "Gerald Crawford was my father's business partner," Ethan said, his voice tight. "They had a falling out just weeks before my mother's murder. My father suspected Gerald of embezzling but could never prove it. The implications hung heavy between them. My grandmother kept meticulous journals," Maya said finally. "She documented everything, who she worked for, what she was paid. Maybe there's something there." An hour later, they were in Maya's small apartment above her garage, surrounded by boxes of Eloise Johnson's possessions. "Here," Maya said, pulling out a leather-bound journal. This would be from that time period. They pored over the neat handwriting, finding entries about the Crawfords that seemed routine until a page dated 3 days before the murder. Mr. Crawford argued with Mrs. C about the Blackwoods again. Overheard him say, "Victoria Blackwood needs to be silenced." Mrs. C told him he was being dramatic. Found Mrs. C crying in the bathroom later. "She gave me an envelope with $5,000 cash, said it was insurance for both of us and to never speak of it." Maya and Ethan exchanged shocked glances before continuing to read. 2 entries after the murder, Eloise had written. "Police everywhere in the neighborhood. Mrs. Blackwood found shot in her home. Mr. Crawford acting strangely, shredding documents. Mrs. C gave me a ring today, said it was payment for special cleaning services and that I should hide it. I'm afraid but need the money for Maya's future. God forgive me." Maya's hands trembled. She knew something. "She might not have known the extent," Ethan said gently. "If she suspected Crawford but needed the money for you? That doesn't make it right." Maya stood abruptly, pacing the small room. "She should have gone to the police. A black housekeeper accusing a powerful white businessman in Highland Park 10 years ago?" Ethan asked quietly. "Would they have believed her?" Maya stopped pacing. "There's more to find. Help me look through everything." In a hidden compartment of an old jewelry box, they discovered an envelope addressed to Maya in her grandmother's handwriting. "Open only when necessary." Inside was a microcassette tape and a short note. "Evidence of what really happened. I was too afraid to use it while the Crawfords were alive. Patricia Crawford died 3 years ago," Ethan said. "Gerald passed just last month. My grandmother died 4 months ago," Maya whispered. "She never got the chance to tell me." Finding an old cassette player among her grandmother's possessions, they listened in stunned silence to a recorded conversation between Gerald Crawford and another man, discussing hiring someone to break into the Blackwood home to retrieve financial documents and take care of Victoria if necessary. "This is enough to reopen the investigation," Ethan said, his voice breaking. "After all these years." Maya slipped the ring off her finger and held it out to him. "This belongs to you." Ethan closed her fingers back around it. "Keep it. Your grandmother protected this evidence at great personal risk. Without her, we might never have known the truth." "She was still complicit in hiding evidence," Maya argued. "She was protecting you the only way she knew how." Ethan's phone buzzed with messages. That's my assistant. I completely missed my meeting. The one worth millions? He shrugged. Some things are more important than money. 3 months later, Gerald Crawford's accomplice was arrested based on the tape's evidence. Maya testified about finding the recording, while Ethan provided financial records proving Crawford's embezzlement, the motive behind silencing his mother. On the courthouse steps after the hearing, Ethan approached Maya. My father's coming home from Europe for the sentencing next month, he said. He wants to meet you to thank you personally. For what? Wearing stolen jewelry? Maya asked, though her tone had lost its earlier bitterness. For helping finish what your grandmother started, bringing justice for my mother. Maya looked down at the ring which she now wore on a chain around her neck. I still don't know how to feel about her. She made an impossible choice, Ethan said gently. And in her own way she ensured the truth would eventually come out, when it was safe for you. I've been thinking about selling my garage, Maya admitted. Too many memories now. Actually, I have a proposition, Ethan said. My father's automotive company needs someone to head their custom restoration division. Someone who really understands cars, not just business. Are you offering me a job? I'm offering you a partnership, Ethan clarified. Your expertise, our resources. Why would you trust me? After everything? Because you stopped to help a reckless driver even though he cut you off, Ethan smiled. And because we both know what it's like to question everything about the people who raised us. As rain began to fall, just like the day they met, Maya considered how a single act of roadside assistance had unraveled decades of secrets and lies, bringing two unlikely people together through shared loss and unexpected truth. I'll think about it, she said, but her smile suggested she already had her answer. The ring gleamed against her collar, no longer a symbol of deception but of redemption. A reminder that even the most circuitous routes can lead to justice, and that sometimes helping a stranger fix a broken car can help fix broken lives as well.